I'm excited for the change. I've been traveling basically nonstop for 15 years. I've done it too much. It's just, I've been around the world. It was the best, but I'm ready to be home and just, deal with that. Like too much travel. Like some people are like, oh, I've traveled so much, I was almost in a plane crash. Oh, I traveled so much, I saw someone smoke on an airplane. Oh yeah, I've traveled so much, I've been on a plane 2 separate times with a Falcon. For the woman over there who went, the what? You are correct in your confusion. I have been on an airplane, a metal tube that flies in the air, 2 separate times with a passenger who brought with them the alpha predator, the Falcon, onto the plane. I agree with you. For those of you that couldn't hear what this superintendent of some sort of thing, I don't know what, but the word superintendent is in your title. What is your name? What's your job, big man?
Yeah, I build playgrounds.
Yeah. Don't f*** with me. That was a f***ing hard pull too, but there's just, you got a cheery disposition of someone that's definitely been this far away from an employee and just said, I don't give a f*** how many beers you've had, mop the floor. Yeah, 2 separate times, an airplane with a Falcon. I have to tell you, I greeted the first Falcon with as much confusion as you guys elicited when I said Falcon. I was on an airplane in Dubai. It's a city in the Middle East. I was there doing stand-up comedy for British people. I was living in England at the time. British people, they think they're fun, and they're not. Let me explain to you what living in England was like for 6 years. On my 3rd day in living in England, I was talking to my uncle on the phone, and a guy bicycled by me, and he stole my phone off my head. And then I chased him through the streets of London, screaming things like, give me back my phone, can I have my phone, give me back my phone, I'll f***ing kill you, give me my phone. And I almost had him. Like, this is a weird thing to brag about. I am much faster than this body shape would lead you to believe. Like, people are always like, wow, you can run. And I'm like, it's weird that you think that's a compliment. And so I chased after him, and like my fingers touched his windbreaker. Like I was so close, and then I slipped on an uneven piece of pavement, fell face first, bloodied my nose, rolled on my back, and just screamed, ah, my phone is gone! And then an English guy walked by and just went, shouting will not return your telephone. So out of London, they booked like so much of the world. So from London, I was booked in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. I went to Dubai, and then we're flying to Abu Dhabi, and I'm sitting on the plane. And the last person to get on the plane was this immaculately dressed man, a beautiful 3-piece suit, much like more layers than you think you need in the desert. And on his arm was a falcon. And no one else on the plane batted an eye. Like when he walked on, and no one else just went, what the f*** is this? Like for a moment I was like, oh, this is schizophrenia. Some people hear voices, I see birds. And he sits in his seat, and the falcon's in the aisle, and I'm just like, I can feel the anxiety and the panic welling up in my body, and I'm like, you're gonna have to ask. Or you're gonna be imagining a variety of scenarios for this 2.5-hour flight. Make a decision, John. You can tap on that shoulder and just say, why do you have a falcon? Or what's with the falcon? Or hey, is that a falcon? But do something. Because just sitting here is not going to help. You're already sweating, baby! So I reached across the aisle. He was like one person up, and I just tapped him on the shoulder, and he turned around, and then I got mad performance anxiety, and instead of being like, oh, so you have a falcon, I just went, so? A falcon. And then he went, correct. A racing falcon. And then he just stared forward, and then they shut the door, and we took off. And I spent the entire flight thinking, well, if that falcon is in a race, I feel like being on an airplane is cheating. And for many years, that was my only experience with having a Falcon on an airplane. And then a little thing called the COVID-19 pandemic rolled around. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but during the COVID-19 pandemic, I did a Dollar Shave Club commercial, and then they misfiled my tax documentation, so I got accused of benefits fraud by the state of California, so I had to go back on the road as a stand-up comedian in the summer of 2020. Yeah, like, it was insane. There weren't even like Republicans who were against COVID. The only people going to comedy were very conservative gay men who just didn't give a fuck. My personal favorite type of conservative is the conservative gay man who just says like, well, fuck it, I don't have kids, close the school. You know what I'm saying? There's just something about a guy just going, I love the family. And I know enough gay men to go, yeah, and you've been used as a toilet 1 month a year. I f***ed up that joke and you rewarded me with silence. And I appreciate your honesty, as if you went, we enjoyed the premise, but I don't feel that was the punchline to that joke. And I want you to know, you are correct. But I am not going to be fooled into another Superman Krypton situation. So we're just going to move seamlessly. Thank you very much. I know that it's fine. Oh, that's right. That makes more sense than you going, that's fine. Because what a f***ing mean thing to say to a comedian. That's fine. Go fuck myself. So I had to tour around on airplanes during the COVID-19 pandemic. And I got to be totally honest with you, it was the best time to fly ever. It was f***ing amazing. There was no one up there. The flight attendants didn't give a fuck. Like, I was flying once from LA to Phoenix, and the flight attendant came up to me and went, I got cigarettes. I'm going to smoke one in the bathroom. And then she got close and went, I don't think there is a smoke detector. And it was just wild up there. And it was only ever just me. I was the only person up there. And then one time, flying from Dallas back here to LA, I'm sat in the seat, and a gentleman gets on the plane with like a hockey bag. And I have to say something. As a Canadian who is now also an American, as a Canadian who is married to an American, as a Canadian who has made America his home, let me say something to you as Americans. There is an aspect to your personality that I find excessively charming. And that is, every other nationality of people, when told the dimensions of the overhead bin of an airplane, we believe them. Not you Yankee Doodle dandies. You hear it and you just go, not for me. I have some miles with Delta, and even though this is a United flight, I'm sure I'll still get some nice treatment. Guy is dragging what looks to be a corpse onto an airplane. And he's doing that thing, my favorite thing, when someone knows their bag's not going to fit in the overhead compartment, where they're looking for the lucky one. Number 15. 15's a stretchy number. Now, I have as I mentioned before, I have a bit of a cop's face, so sometimes in sticky situations, people will look to me as an authority figure, and then he looked at me and he went, hey, do you think if I unpack some of my stuff, it'll fit up in the overhead compartment? And I just went, yeah. Let's fucking see where this goes, baby. Middle of a pandemic, I'm wearing a mask, I'm covered in hand sanitizer, yeah. That thing is the size of a mile, and that thing, yeah, whatever the fuck. And he reaches in and he takes out some jeans and some stuff, and then he reaches in with both hands, and he pulls out a Falcon. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a bird get out of a bag before, but it was the most just like, am I dead? And it's so, I don't know if you've ever seen someone take a bird out of a bag on an airplane, but you have a lot of reactions. The first one for me was, how the f*** did that get through the X-ray machine? Was the Falcon shushing the guy on the screen? Keep a secret. I saw that Falcon and just thought, you know what? I'm flying with marijuana from now on. Because if I was high, for some reason I feel like this would make a lot more sense. Yeah, dead clean sober, I'm panicking. High, I would have been like, yeah, it makes sense. You know, it flies, the plane flies. Maybe I'll get wings, baby. I don't know why for that joke, weed is heroin. Anyway, so What was this move? Anyway, so he's like stroking the falcon who looks distressed. And then he looks at me and he goes, my boss left the falcon in Dallas, so yeah. I don't want to be weird. But who has so much money they could get to their home in Los Angeles, look around and go, fuck, we forgot the falcon in Dallas. Nathaniel, get on a plane. So the guy's looking at me, I'm looking at him. He's holding a falcon. The flight attendant walks over to see what the hubbub is about. He then looks at the flight attendant and goes, oh good, I wanted to talk to you. I just booked this flight on impulse. I don't know if I'm supposed to fly with a falcon. Is it safe to fly with a falcon? And then he held the falcon towards her face like, this falcon. Now, I think one of my favorite moments of my life is whenever I'm there to see a customer service representative just snap. Just go from working for this corporation to fuck you. I'm Becky and I've got thoughts and you're gonna fucking hear them. And she just sort of went, I don't know! I don't know what's gonna happen. That's a bird made of knives. I think we're in trouble. Because I've already closed the door and we're not going back. So sit down. And then she walked away. He sat down with the falcon in his hands. And then what no one was expecting to happen happened, which was me standing up and going, I've actually flown with a falcon before. And it went fine.